Hello all, welcome to the Lunar Sea Spire Cartoon Fan Podcast. This is episode 344, and today we'll be talking about Monsoon from Summer Camp Island. I'm GC13.
And I'm David.
So I will say how happy I am to see Skadi, technically for the first time, but as far as the podcast is concerned, she's back from her reappearance in the Yeti episode, where she is all eager to punch a cloud and then runs away from the cloud because the cloud's too tough for her. But in this episode, she's all about punching clouds, even if she's not that good at it.
Is this also the first appearance of Science Chat? I believe this is the second, right? There's a few episodes that take us through the chronicles of Hedgehog's podcasting career, or really, radio career.
Everything's podcasting when you're a podcaster, David.
Everything looks like a nail to me. Yeah, I love that. I think the full-on Science Chat episode hasn't happened yet, where, Hedgehog has to struggle with the content. Yeah, because in this episode, she's completely fine to abandon the premise of Science Chat for, a listener's mishearing of the name. And she just rolls with it. You know what? Science Chat with me.
She hasn't got her regulars yet, so she has nothing to really hold on to.
Right, this is very much the early beginnings. We still have Oscar trying to call in friends, which I love that Hedgehog is just pissed off.
I love that she's wrong about what temperature a piano boils at.
Is she now?
She keeps saying 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the temperature water boils at, and she's giving it with that, well, duh, that's the temperature everything boils at. What temperature does iron boil at, Hedgehog? A lot more than that!
I mean, maybe she was speaking to, obviously, water-based pianos, of which most pianos on Summer Camp Island might be water-based. You don't know?
Well, I mean, everything on Summer Camp Island is alive, and so has
70% body volume of water.
See, in most science fiction, they would call it carbon-based life, but in Elite Dangerous, which I've been playing a lot of lately, it would be called water-based life because that is the solvent where all of the chemical interactions take place. So, water-based life, there you go.
That is a whole new twist. I feel like we're in when people start, and it's a horrible place to be, but thinking about the Cars universe and imagining how their bodies work and, all the horribleness of that we've never really pushed into, well, what does it mean that all these things are sentient? Because I just thought it was just magic applied to objects, so they have eyeballs and a soul. But what if they're full of water and organs? Thanks for putting that one in there, GC. Really appreciate it.
I look forward to the game of Operation that is where you're operating on a cloud.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's a good thing that the shows on Cartoon Network are rated PG, but they stay well below. I don't need my clouds with organs falling out a la Rick and Morty horribleness.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's probably going to be a Rick and Morty episode about that someday. They're up to, they got their 10 seasons booked, right?
Have they not had an episode? I mean, they definitely have things that are sentient that shouldn't be. I mean, we already went into, that's really kind of what Beth's world was, right? Beth's magical world of, creatures that can be stabbed and hurt and everything, and depraved.
No sentient clouds.
No sentient clouds, though. That's really more of in the realm of Hilda. Again, another Hilda connection.
Yes. Oh, that was good. I did like that they brought the clouds back even, but that's really neither here nor there. I mean, if Skadi were around, some of those Hilda episodes would have gone very differently.
Yes, well, especially since the clouds on Summer Camp Island appear to be much more solid than... I mean, the clouds in Hilda are truly clouds and could be punched, but, Hilda has to reason with them instead. Either way.
Yeah, I mean, Hedgehog has trouble punching a cloud, although it is willing to make nice with them.
Oscar almost realizes he could have had an entirely different life path while punching the clouds.
Okay, I'm kind of torn about that. Him thinking about, I guess the interest was just never there. That was a very funny internal monologue. But at the same time, everything that happens after they get Skadi back to her home mountain is just like, fast. Gotta take care of this episode real quick. Gotta wrap it up real quick. Although it was hilarious when just Susie shows up and does the whole, you dummies, like she has to.
Yeah, of course she does. Well, and she also explains, sometimes the stories in Summer Camp Island are based on how does this work in the world? Kind of like our, why do the floorboards squeak? Well, because there's clowns underneath them. And this is our, what controls the weather? Scotty and her mom. Which, the sentient clouds in Hilda also are kind of controlled at one point as well. But this is much more natural cycle. Although do they come from a long line of cloud punchers? Is this just an activity that has always occurred on Summer Camp Island? Is this how clouds are broken up among, the entire world? Across the entire world?
Come to think of it, I think you're making me think of the timeline. And Scotty hasn't seen her mother for 200 years, but Susie's apparently been on Summer Camp Island long enough for this to be like, oh, every time they come back together. But I'm pretty sure we decided that it's been less than 200 years since they arrived on the island based off of the fashion in New York at the time, so... I mean, maybe I'm just, because I'm the retcon guy. I'm the guy who says that Summer Camp Island did a retcon, so maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see, but I'm seeing it. I'm just saying.
Well, people could have migrated there too, right? I mean, again, Scotty could have
been
somewhere else. But
Susie had never been to Summer Camp Island before then.
No, I'm saying they weren't on the island before. Like, Scotty and her mom could have been punching clouds anywhere on the planet. I mean, there was a lot of places in which clouds needed to be broken up in the world,
The witches were pretty important to the way the world worked, so she might be very familiar with the magical goings-on.
Yeah.
Read the newspaper while sipping a Dolly Madison.
Right. She would have been well aware, perhaps. But again, could you imagine what it would have been like if Oscar had become ripped?
I mean, I can imagine if you give him a bandana and a bandolier, yes. But without those accessories, like he's about to go film a new Rambo movie, I can't imagine it without the Rambo accessories.
I love how he starts thinking about, well, maybe I have a different skill set. It's like, yes, those who are ripped, are stuck without being able to do the creative arts. But you are now uninhibited by that focus.
I mean, okay, David, anyone who's ever used a character creator in any RPG ever knows that, there's a balance between strength and intelligence. So if Oscar isn't strong, he must be a genius.
And yet the line of passion that he chooses to try to go down leads him to a very awkward moment at the end where Hedgehog tells him, hey, I was really just trying to ignore how bad of a joke you just made. And Oscar goes off to call his mom for affirmation, which I'm so glad that he gets it.
You're the only one who makes that awkward. I mean, Oscar
is no.
Like, okay, this is okay. This is okay.
Look, Oscar's mom and I both think Oscar is hilarious, but I do think that it's tough being Oscar sometimes in a world with people like Hedgehog who just are too honest with him.
I mean, but he has his mom to lie to him.
Yeah, thank goodness Oscar has his mom, because, oh boy, Hedgehog's mom has really pushed Hedgehog. Ooh. I mean, if we ever wonder why Oscar gets to be more of a baby and Hedgehog's so grown up, this is kind of one of the negative reasons why, right? Like, because, man, Hedgehog's mom is a piece of work.
Yeah, but that whole conversation, again, they just had so little time at the end of the episode, so it happened super fast, so they hit you like a brick wall, what a mean lady that Hedgehog's mom is.
But yeah, it's amazing how well Hedgehog has already learned to handle this. Like, you called me, Mom, what are you doing calling me up and insulting me? Like,
I did love the whole, yeah, I know I called you, like Marty might have said.
So awful, but I love that that's the lesson for this episode between Hedgehog and Skadi. It's like, hey kids, you know what? If your mom's a jerk,
you don't have to. You don't need your parents' approval.
You don't need their approval, and do your own thing. You're your own person. You're not just your parents' child, and that's quite a thing to have to communicate to kids. And yet there are kids watching Summer Camp Island, and perhaps adults who feel the same.
I mean, I don't know, David. Like, Skadi was really underperforming. She wasn't even meeting the national average.
Whew, I love that they used that term for anyone who's felt, encumbered by the education system and its standards. That was harsh, though. What a harsh reality. And was it true? I mean, poor Scotty's been punching clouds so hard and to think that everybody's going more than that. And I mean, it's all based on climate. There's different environments. How could Skadi even punch enough clouds if there's not clouds coming her way in the sky?
She said she punched 1,700 clouds, right? It was 1,700?
Yeah. Over 200 years?
No, I thought in the last year.
Oh.
And she was proud of that. And meanwhile, we're watching her. She's punching several clouds a minute. So something doesn't add up here.
They're too close together, though. Maybe Scotty's mom is breaking up all the clouds before they can even blow over to the other side. In fact, maybe the 1,700 clouds are a representation of Scotty's mom's failures.
The 1,700 flavors of ice cream that we should all be eating right now.
Oh, no. Failures, GC, not flavors. So I'm going to go...
Failures of ice cream? So we're talking...
I'm going to go call Oscar's mom now. I think I need to talk with her.
Yeah, while you're on the phone with her, see if you can figure out some bad flavors of ice cream, because all I eat is Bluebell, and it's pretty good.
Shrimp ice cream. Never forget in Fairly Odd Parents when everything was shrimp.
That would be a failure of ice cream. So, I mean, Oscar had his cloud punching machine, and I was astonished that he said, I can do this for X amount of minutes, and that X amount was not 11, it was 17 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know.
We had an 11-minute cartoon that did not make an 11 minutes joke, or they didn't even try to roughly subtract how much more time do we have left in the episode and give that number. They just, 17 minutes. It's nowhere near 11. What are you going to do about it?
Well, for the real cartoon scientists out there, you could use that to estimate the actual real-world time that passes in episodes. And perhaps even calculate the speed at which alien ships travel, which, brief aside... Hedgehog becomes indebted to Puddle and the King.
Just the king.
Is that debt ever called upon again?
I don't recall them ever doing that.
Right, because Hedgehog and Oscar definitely do favors. I mean, they house sit, they do things for the king, but they don't ever reference this again, which I'm surprised by, because, I mean, I know it was just for the joke and for King to be staring through the window with the cat captioning,
You owe me. I mean, but... Okay, maybe he does collect on that, such as when they're house sitting for him, but, it's not important to them that this is him calling in a favor, so it's never mentioned to us. It's just him like, oh, see, this is all because I put her in my debt that this is happening, when the reality is, oh, hey, the king's a friend, I'll help him out.
It's just, this is a very strange character. I mean, I guess it's not that out of character for the king, but it is... unnecessarily malevolent.
No, it's hilarious because it is just a little bit out of character, but it's like we're taking one of his negative character traits and just ramping it up all of a sudden. It's a kind of humor that they do very well on Aqua Teen Hunger Force, for instance. Just the sudden changes in characterization, and yet so perfectly fitting the character at the same time. But I mean, who knows how fast that vehicle was going? It was very experimental.
At the speed of less than 17 minutes, a unknown distance.
Divided by 2.
Yes.
They had to make it back.
Well, listeners, this has been another wonderful episode of Science Chat, brought to you from the Lunar Sea Spire. Hope to see you around.
If you find out what temperature a piano boils at, definitely let us know. Don't boil a good one.
And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Chowsers! Our opening and closing music is by Mark Soto. For more cartoon-related content, please visit lunarseaspire.com.